Hi, this is Sister Rhonda from Kids Zone, here to welcome you to Church Beyond the Ordinary Kids Zone Way. So, we have a story time just for you. We've been thinking about how we can reach out to our kids, how to stay connected, and how to give you some time, parents, that you can share and continue to build your children up in the Lord. So, our first story today is called Abraham Trusts God. Isn't that where we are right now, kids? We're trusting God. So, listen, this is where we find our lesson scripture from the Bible. It's in Genesis 12, 1 through 9, chapter 15, 1 through 6, chapter 21, 1 through 7. So you can go back, read the story, but this is the Bible story for today. One day God spoke to Abraham and he told him, I have big plans for you, plans to bless you and to make your name great. You will be a blessing to others, Abraham. He wanted Abraham to leave the country that he was in, pick up everything, and start walking. And you know what? That's exactly what Abraham did. He trusted God. He believed him. And so he did exactly what God told him to do. He started walking. He said, keep walking and I will show you where and when to stop. So Abraham amazingly, without any hesitation, started packing up all of his belongings, all of the people in his tribe, gathered all of their things, all of their family members, and they started walking across the desert, the dry desert, with no destination. They didn't use GPS to get them where they were going because it was unknown to them. They had no idea where they were going. One day, while they were walking, they walked into the land of Canaan, and God said, this is it. This is where you can stop walking. This is the land that I'm going to give you and all of your relatives and all of the generations that come behind you. So Abraham and his wife Sarah, they stopped, they unpacked, and they pitched a tent in their house. Many years passed from the time that they landed in Canaan until one cool night God called Abram again and said, come out to the night. He said, Abram, look in the stars in the sky and count them. And as many as you can count, if you can count them all, that's how many children you will have. That's a lot of people, don't you think? Yeah, it is. I can't count all the stars in the sky. I promise you, God said, that you will have as many children as there are stars in the heavens. Abraham believed God again. You believe God? Even though Abram was old, even though his wife Sarah was old, he still believed God. God was going to make him into many nations. So many more years passed. Can you imagine that? More years passed. And now Abraham was 99 years old and Sarah was 90. They still hadn't had any children. And no one their ages had ever had any children that we have record of. God said, Abram, today I am going to make a covenant with you, a promise with you, that you will be the father of many nations, and your name will now be called, as we all know, Abraham. And you are to give your wife the name Sarah, because it means the mother of many nations. What did Abraham do when he heard those words? He started to laugh, because no one had ever had a child at that age. And he was going to make him a great nation? They were too old to have kids, thought Abraham. But soon, Abraham and Sarah learned that there is nothing too hard for God? Right? Right. A year later, a baby boy was born to Abraham and Sarah, and Abraham named him Isaac. Guess what? Isaac means to laugh. And of course, he was still filled with the joy that he had when he first heard that he was going to have a son, a child, which turned out to be a son, and he was joyous about it. Do you know what your name means? If you find out, let us know. Write it down, bring it back. And when you get back, we know we're all coming back to Kids Zone. We have prizes. So we're challenging you. Look up what your name means. Abraham's son, Isaac, had 2 sons. His sons' names were, Esau and Jacob. Esau had 5 sons. Remember, Abraham had 1. Isaac had 2. Esau had 5. And Jacob had 12. Abraham's children would multiply like the stars in the heaven, just like God had promised. And they have. You and I are a part of that family. And our children and their children and their children's children will all be part of that family. So God's message today says, I will be your God forever and ever. You and your relatives will be my special people. That's us. My blessings will be with you and your children's children through 1,000 generations. How long is 1,000 generations? Second thing for you to find out and let us know once we're back home in Kids Zone. That won't be long. Love you. God bless you and be safe.